Good morning. Good morning. Hope everybody's having a good morning this morning. How you doing? Good morning. Hey, babe. So, oh, y'all, I done forgot. I ain't gonna do it right now. I'll take my medicine after the stream. Shoot, I done forgot to do it this morning. I'm scared if I take it and start talking, what's gonna happen? And I'm like, nah, I ain't doing that again. I ain't doing that again. Shoot, I'd rather wait. I don't want to take no damn chances this morning. I am not taking that chance this morning. Uh-uh. Give me a drink of my coffee. My coffee. So the puppies, the puppies or whatnot are doing well right now. They're drinking, running around like little crazed idiots. I've got to call the Humane Society because we don't technically have a pound here per se. We have a Humane Society. That's what we call ours. Um, And I just found out not too long ago that our humane society is 100% no ill shelter, and that if they cannot find them home, they will find another rescue that will. So they have other rescues that are associated with them. I have to call the event coordinator though. Well, it's the intake coordinator. And they're a little bit over capacity right now, but calling the intake coordinator gets you put on the list pretty much. And I explained the situation. Obviously, as my husband was driving down the road, he ran across three puppies, and their mommy was not alive. Like, she didn't make it. So I'm super glad that he got them off the road because they probably would not have made it themselves another day out there in the heat with no water. They would not have probably made it, y'all. If they'd have probably spent another full day out there in that heat, because it is hot here in Mississippi right now. Um, one more day without water and without, food, specifically more so water, because they were still okay without food, but they would not have been okay without water. I think whoever dumped them must have done it in the last 2 days. And I think mommy, dog, it was just too much. I think she was technically, in my opinion, what I think is that she was too old to be having puppies. And I think it put too much a strain on her, not only having the puppies and doing all that, but them dropping her off and her not having water and all this other stuff. I think it was just too much on her. It was just too much strain on the poor old girl. I believe that she was probably an older dog, because usually a healthy one they can last for quite a while without water, for a good minute, um, and without food. But I mean, the water situation is what I think. The water is like 24 hours. Food they can go 3 days, but water no, especially in this heat. Dehydration happens very fast. They're drinking well, they're eating well. But the way we're doing it right now is I have this big giant cage that's made. They're free on the back porch, so y'all seen how big my back porch is because I did a short on how big my back porch. My back porch is huge, right? And I let them down. I let them run around it. But when I take out my pups, because I'm trying to keep them separate right now, I have a big, huge dog kennel that I used for my German Shepherd when I would take her back and forth, to vets and stuff or different things. I had a big giant dog kennel thing. Um, I put those three in there when I take out mine, until because the puppies, I've got to get some medications for them before I allow them around my other pups, right? I have to get flea and tick stuff. I have to get wormer, dewormer. because they're young, they're puppies. They have to be dewormed. So if anybody, I'm gonna keep my Cash App scrolling at the bottom. If anybody wants to give to the puppy fund to help with medications, my Cash App scrolling at the bottom right now. Because, child, um, go ahead and then come over here and tell me what the tea is, church lady. Um, but you know, I sat there and if anybody wants to give the puppy fund, I'm gonna have my Cash App scrolling across the bottom, and you can put for puppy fund because they're gonna need dewormer and they're gonna need flea and tick stuff. And I've got to go out there literally and try to make sure, check all of their little paw pads, everything. Make sure there's no ticks in their ears because they were out in the woods. And when puppies are thrown out and they put them in the woods are notorious about ticks, fleas, all these other things. So I've got to de-tick them, put the medication on them. That way, if there's one I can't see or something like that, the medication will take it out pretty much. And I don't know if y'all know this, but if y'all get this squeezy tube that goes down the back of the neck and you slide it down their back, you'll have to remove some of them, but a lot of the ticks will just fall off and die. You'll still have to check them over after the medication does its job and make sure that they disattached from the skin. And you'll have to keep an eye on it because when you disattach, you have to make sure you get the head out of the tick or the dog can get an infection. And if you do de-tick the animal, make sure you get the head out and clean the area with either alcohol or something similar to that. You could even do iodine, something like that to keep infection rate down. I've done this multiple times, saving animals, saving puppies, little ones, when they've been thrown out like that. I had one that wandered up to my house when I lived in the deep woods in another place, and he was a full-blooded Shar-Pei puppy. I got him all beautiful, got rid of, I had to dip every one of my outside animals because he came up and he had the mange. He had ticks all over him, fleas. First off, I had to clean him up. We had to get all the ticks off of him. Then we had to, doctor every single little boo-boo. Then I had to wait for that to heal because you can't dip them with the medication to get rid of the mange while they still have open wounds. So you have to wait for those where the ticks bit them to heal. Then you have to dip them. So there's a thing called creosote dip. It gets rid of the mange. If you ever see an animal with a hot spots or they have hot spots, you dip them in creosote dip and it'll get rid of them. And I would suggest if you have any other pups and that dog's been around those other dogs, go ahead and dip the other dogs because it is one of those things that is spreadable, right? And so you dip all of them. It stinks to high heaven. I'm not going to tell you it don't stink because it does. But it gets rid of the mange. It gets rid of the red mange. There's also, you can do burnt motor oil and sulfur. You get a bag of yellow sulfur and you mix it with, you take the oil and you burn it off a little bit and then you mix them together. You would obviously into a paste, but obviously it's not going to be hot when you do this. You don't put it on an animal hot. No. You let the oil cool off, but you mix sulfur and oil and you put it on their skin. You leave it like a paste until it literally cracks off itself and it gets rid of the problem. How, I don't know, but that's the old school remedy. Creosote dip's a lot easier to get a hold of. You can get that pretty much anywhere. And it works. It stinks to high heaven. It does, but it works. And you have to dilute it in water and all this other stuff and dip the animal, but don't get it in their eyes, nose, or mouth, obviously, obvious reasons. When you go to put it near their face, you have to do it gently with your hands. So I would say that if you, don't wear gloves, your hands are going to smell for a couple of days. They're going to stink. But the animal then will be fine. But they're cutest little pies. They are sweet little babies. They're so kissy. So, like, one of them wants to lay down in my lap and love all over me. One of them is male. We have one male and two females. gonna try to. I'm pretty sure somebody's gonna want to adopt them. They're pretty much like puppies. Like, I mean, they still got their puppy teeth. They look like they were just weaned from their mom a few weeks ago. They're eating dry food though, but it looks like they were just weaned a few weeks ago. Like, they're young, because a a black lab puppy gets pretty big pretty quickly, but they're still puppy. You know what I'm saying? Like puppy. So I'm pretty sure somebody will want to adopt them. I got all the feelers out there. I've put it out in the Lost and Found. I've put it in the, I've called the Humane Society, did all the things that I'm supposed to do, and all that stuff. And now it's just a waiting game of seeing who wants them. But if you want to donate to the puppy fund, I got my Cash App scrolling across the bottom. If you don't have to, if you don't want to, but if you feel like it in your heart to donate to the puppy fund, I've got to get them some medications and stuff. It would be very greatly appreciated, because it would help pay for that shit. That shit's not cheap. The squeezy tube by itself is like, I think, 20 something dollars. The 7-in-1 dewormer is the thing that's fucking expensive. That shit could be like 50 fucking bucks. No shit. 50, 60, because I got to get 3 pills. I got to get one for each of them. And those damn things ain't cheap. I don't know if y'all went to PetSmart recently and got those damn dewormer pills, but those motherfuckers ain't cheap. They is not cheap. They expensive. Why is it so expensive to take care of our animals nowadays? Hey, Miss Catherine, how you doing? Now, I will say that I was over there at Codes this morning, and I will say Code was talking about the situation with TSW, and I like TSW OCV, right? I like her. But I will say I think that situation was for clout, because if I was going to donate 1K to somebody, I'm just saying, if I was going to do that, I'm not telling anybody, because I wouldn't want nobody to pocket watch my ass. That's when people start pocket watching you. That's because you want the recognition. You want people to see you as a big money, so that they treat you better, right? But then they're going to expect you to give to them, right? So that's why you don't say nothing like that. And I would have kept that shit behind the scenes. Myself, and I would have kept that behind the scenes. I would have never brought that to the forefront, and I wouldn't be hitting panels talking about it. But that's just me. You can do whatever you want. I can't tell another grown up what to do. Just like, this situation with Discord Gate. Everybody's like, oh, Discord Gate. Y'all realize this ain't the first Discord Gate that has happened in the beef sector? I hope y'all know that. The very beginning of the Discord, in the beef sector, we had a Discord Gate. If y'all ain't know, man, that's on you. You don't know your history. You ain't been here long enough. Any of the OGs can tell you about the original Discord Gate. We've had Chat Gate. Over there in the Mo 3 sector, they had STD Gate. We've had so many gates, it ain't even funny. So many things happen over the years. Yeah, think about it. That happens with all sectors of YouTube. It doesn't matter what sector of YouTube you're from. There's always something that goes down. Always somebody fighting with somebody. It's always somebody. It's always something going on, right? Or the sector's not popping. You know what I mean? But there's always something, because you can't. Here's the thing: you always have people who want to create drama or create mess. It's always going to be a thing. You have the chill people who sit back in the cut and be like, "This crazy, man." For real though. But then you always gonna have somebody that wants to fight or doesn't like someone else for one reason or another. And that's always gonna be a thing. Sometimes people just ain't meant to get along, and that's alright. That is what it is. That's why frictions happen. That's why drama happens. You know what I'm saying? And then you also got to think about people talking behind the scenes. That causes problems. I'm gonna tell y'all all a little secret right quick. Be careful who you behind the scenes with, because come mad day, all your shit gonna come out. Be careful. That's why you got to keep your circle small as fuck. And realize, this is what I always tell folks. It's just my personal opinion. Don't say nothing behind the scenes that you wouldn't say in front of the scenes. So if somebody does get mad at you and expose or do whatever, um, it's not nothing you wouldn't have said in front of the scenes anyway. It's not something you would have told that person to their face anyway. You get what I mean? You feel me? But a lot of these, what I'm seeing with a lot of this Discord gate and these things over there is people sitting there talking behind the scenes and whatnot, and they having private conversations upon private conversations, thinking that nobody else is going to expose that shit, and so they're being free with what they say, and not thinking about what if I don't have a problem with this person, this is going to cause a problem. How many times have we seen people go from one person to the next and go, hey, such such said such such said such, causing problems, carrying bones. It happens. I would say, on my personal opinion, I ain't snitching on nobody that's carrying bones for me and telling me shit. If you told me something out of the goodness of your motherfucking heart to watch out for a motherfucker, I ain't telling nobody. You want to know why? Because then you gonna fuck yourself over, because now you don't know. I ain't snitching on the person that told me. I ain't doing it. Because then that's gonna mess that shit up. And then I won't know nothing. And hell to the no. Hell to the no. You gotta be smart. Play chess, not checkers, baby. Use your intelligence. Now I will say I was using some pretty big words and codes this morning. I was talking about my vernacular. My English vernacular is immaculate. And I do understand those words. Hey, Miss Tiffany, how you doing, beautiful? I may be a country bumpkin. That is true. I may be ghetto fabulous or a chicken head sometimes. That also may be true. I admit to it. I may be, I may be a little ratchet sometimes. I admit that is also true. But I promise you this, my pronunciation and my wordage and my verbiage is off the chisane. And let me explain to you why. I had teachers when I was a kid that beat it into me that you have to speak proper English. Hey, TNW Logger, what up, bro? But yeah, so I don't know about y'all when we were little, when I was in elementary school or whatnot, I had teachers who, because I'm Southern, right? We were told you're already thought to be ignorant, right? So don't speak ignorantly. Speak with, use your education, use your pronunciation. If you don't know something, sound that shit out, right? Look it up. Look at the etymology of the word. And sometimes, yeah, I may mix up a word with another word, because there are sometimes two words have the same meaning, or they sound very similar. You know, so yeah, that happens occasionally. Who doesn't have a mix up? But I be using the crap out of my words. That's something I do. And if I don't understand something, I'm going to ask, or I'm going to look it up. I'm going to learn about it, because knowledge is key. Knowledge is power, just like health is wealth. And I'm going to give you this advice, my beautiful Miko sis. If you happen to catch this replay, don't ever let this fucking internet get to your health. If that shit's starting to do that, say F it, man. You know what I'm saying? If the drama's too much, and this goes for anybody around here that's got some health issues, say screw it, dog. Don't do it. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. If this, and this goes for anybody that's in my chat or watching or catches the replay, if this application starts to affect you and negatively, whether it be in your mind state, in your mental, in your physical, or any of that, cut this shit off with a quickness, because your life and your health is way more important than any application, any internet application. It is worth way more for you not to be sick, you not to be feeling bad, all this other shit, right? I hope y'all are all having a good day today. Does anybody have any cool plans for this weekend? Y'all got anything y'all gonna be doing? Me, myself, and I might be meeting up with somebody. I don't know yet. Gotta see what's up. Gotta see what's up. Maybe next week, maybe the week after that, whenever that person gets a free moment, because I know how shit be. You know, if they watch this replay or catching in the clouds right now, I know how shit be. Just know it's cool by me. I'm cool beans. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not the type of person that chases. I know you got some plans for me. Do you know what, babe? I gotta tell you something funny. People think that we only do Saturdays for one thing. I'm like, nah, that could be any day of the week. That could be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. You know, it don't matter. You know, it could be any day of the week. It's just that I did tell people that I set aside Saturday just for you, because I build my relationship, baby. Relationships matter. And I'm going to say this. If you are married and you got a hubby or you got a family, please don't take all your time and put it on this freaking internet and spend time with your family, your husband, your children, you know what I'm saying? Because those relationships, if you let them falter, you're gonna be the one that's gonna. That's why so many people having problems and shit. How many people we done seen on here have relationship problems? How many people we done seen on here with family? This shit ain't worth it. Your family should always come first. That's what I'm saying, bruh. But baby shark, do 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 do, baby shark, do 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 do, baby shark. Hey, baby shark, and you better be damn well listening to that doctor. Did you hear me? Did you hear me? I told you that yesterday. Listen to that doctor. Also, when your merch come out, I really want to know, is it out yet? Because if the merch is out, I want to click over there and check it out. I got to get my merch together because, hey, Brian LG100. Hey, Mr. Brian, how you doing? I want to get me, some of your merch when it come out. I like storm chasing, and you know how much I love your storm chasing. And you got to put me up some more videos of storm chasing, or do a secondary channel. I'll give you this advice, okay, fam? Do a secondary channel and don't tell many people about it. Don't let them share it out and let people know it's you, if that makes sense. Like, cause not a lot of people are in here, right? Okay, fam? You could come in and tell me this is Shark. That's all you got to say, or this is Baby, and I'll know it's you, right? But don't let nobody know. You get what I'm saying? You feel me? You feel me? You feel me, dog? Try to keep some of the, the trolls out of your situation. Hey, Jug Flow, the ex-promoter. How you doing this morning? Tell Queen I got to get my ass back over there. I've been busy. Here's the thing. I have some new puppies. I don't know if you've been catching that came up, and I've been real busy. But also on top of that, I've been trying to support everybody again, and I've been over in my beef sector people, and I've been over, in different places, and it's just me trying to go everywhere at once. Sometimes I can't support everybody, and I really want to, but I'm trying my best as one individual, and with also having to cook, clean, take care of other things, So it's sometimes I will have 5 different tabs, even if you don't see me sometimes. And Queen don't see me. She don't know. I done been there. I was at the other day's live when she was playing the man on her man live. When she was playing that video, I was there. I hit the like button. I just didn't say hey in chat because I was busy doing shit. So I let it play in the background while I was doing things. So if you don't always see me, don't realize that I'm not there, because I could still be there. Right? I'm so busy doing other shit that I got like 5 different tabs open at one time, letting everybody play at once. And I do mean everybody play at once, because I'm still going to give you that click and that view and let you get your money, honey, and get your watch hours. You feel me? So not all the time you may see me, but that don't mean I ain't there. Because I was in that live when she was doing her man live. See? People don't be knowing. I be bush watching sometimes because I'm too busy. I can't drop down to say hey like I would want to. Especially like if I'm going to town or I'm mopping floors. I can't be touching my laptop while mopping the floor. So I just let it play while I'm doing that, or I'm cleaning up, or I'm vacuuming. You know what I mean? So I got it playing in the background. I be doing that stuff because I like to support everybody. I try my very best to do that. Can I be everywhere? Also, I was over at Arkansas, so she didn't even know it. Mr. Brian, I saw y'all up there playing some games, and I saw the card game, and I saw y'all up there bullshitting. And Arkansas didn't know I was there, but I was there. I hit that like button. I had her playing in the background that day. I do that all the time, people. It's just because you got to imagine I'm supporting 15 people or 5, 6 people at the same time. So if you also ever see me chat something in chat that don't make any sense whatsoever, realize I put it in the wrong chat. And if I say hey to somebody that ain't your chat, and I go to their chat and say hey to somebody that ain't their chat, it's because I just got the both chat boxes mixed up. I just got both of them mixed up. I'll tell you this, Mr. Brian, I love Gangsta Sauce. Gangsta Sauce is good people with a good heart, and you can tell it. That lady's got an amazing heart on her. You do have a secondary channel? Oh yeah, I think. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me whisper in your ear right quick. Didn't you make a comment or whatnot and let me know that it was you in a way? And didn't I subscribe to that one? Because I swear I did. Without saying without. Yeah, y'all both Razorbacks. Y'all both from Arkansas. You know what I'm saying? Which means I'm just saying, y'all could totally meet up. I'm just saying. Hey, Vortex Views Studio. Okay, I got you. I got you. I got you. I'm going to make sure. I got you. I got you. Hey, Montrese. How you doing this morning, Mr. Montrese? How you doing? How's everything been going over there? In YouTube land. I got to make sure. I know, Mr. Montrese, you really don't do content, but I'm still gonna make sure I'm subscribed just in case. Just in case you ever decide to get a wild hair up your ass and go live. Okay. I got you, baby shark. I got you, baby shark. I got you. I got you. Okay. Just saying. But yeah, so I always try to make sure I'm subscribed to everybody, because let's say you decide, 6 months from now that you're going to become a CC, and I know who you are. I'm going to try to support you. Point blank period. Also, I'm going to subscribe because here's another reason. I want you to be able to get your community wall. If you get over 100 and something subscribers, you get a community wall. And that way you could share your thought processes, even if you don't want to content create. Even if you don't want to content create, I want you to still be able to get your community wall so you can talk your shit. You could share out people that you like. You know what I'm saying? So maybe I could catch a share on a community wall of a person I've never seen before, but I might like also. Because that's how we support each other as small CCs and, content creators who are trying to build our channel and build it organically. Because here's the thing. People can help you get to your initial 1K, right? But ultimately, to build your audience, it's up to you. It's up to whether people like you or don't like you. Some people, you're not going to be their cup of tea, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Because where they don't like you, another person might. So do I all the time get 20, 30, 40, 50 people, 100 people, 200 people in here? No. Sometimes do I? Yeah. If I wanted to do that, I know how. I could just literally do a drama filled live. It's very easy. But I don't like drama. I like to chill with y'all, have good conversations, ask y'all how y'all's day going. What you gonna do for the weekend? Speaking of which, what are y'all gonna be doing this weekend? Y'all gonna be chilling? People gonna be doing some coffee, or people gonna be, here's my question. I will say this: I gotta go get. Now, if y'all don't notice, one of the people's in the beef sector, because I know that a lot of y'all ain't from the beef sector or whatnot. One of my peoples from the beef sector, his name is Lemon. He's going to be doing a talent show. Now, I will say this: if you got any talent, whether you sing, rap, dance, poetry, anything, right? Any of that whatsoever, you might want to join, because there's a big pot on the line. It's like 1K or some shit. It's a good amount of money. I'm trying to see if they dropped the if they have dropped the talent show banner yet. I gotta get Miss Mika to send it to me, because I know she made it. So I gotta get her to send it to me or whatnot, and so that I can use it to show y'all. But it's going to be on the in June. It's going to be next Saturday. Now, I won't be able to be there in person. I wanted to enter the talent show my damn self, but that's my husband's day, so no. And they know that. I done told them. And I, sorry, I'm gonna be busy. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna go ahead and share out Big Lemon's channel for those who might want to enter that talent show, because it's gonna be a big ass pot on the line now. They doing it. They doing their big one on it. They doing their big one. I'm gonna go ahead and share out his channel. Now there will be some rules and regulations, which I'm pretty sure he'll go over at the very top of the show. Hey, Mr. Richie April, how you doing? But with the puppies and everything, if you want to give to the Puppy Relief Fund, I do have my Cash App scrolling across the bottom of the screens, because I am going to be having to buy the puppies some medications and different things that they're going to need. Gonna try to get them, if I can possibly swing it, if people give to the puppy fund or whatnot. I'm gonna try to swing them new collars, to where when someone else comes to get them, they'll have their own little collar. Hey, the Gen X effects. Also, it'll help me tell you which one's the boy and which one's the two girls, because that's another thing. They all look exactly the same. They're black Labrador puppies. They all look exactly the same. So there's you have to absolutely keep checking under their tail to tell you which one's the boy and which one's the girl. And I did bit your finger. Charlie bit me. I did. I bit you. I'm sorry. But hey, I only bite if asked nicely. Okay? I don't just run around biting motherfuckers, because also that's how you get some things. And I'm not just running around biting motherfuckers. I only bite clean people, so you should take that as a compliment. I don't be running around biting. I don't run around biting dirty motherfuckers. I'm just saying. See, that's the point. That's the good thing, K-Fam. You can operate from home and still be able to look at the radar and lead your team. You can still do it. See, the knowledge that you have, K-Fam, right? The knowledge on being able to look at that radar and know where that next storm is going to be or something like that. That's a gift. That's a gift right there. because we can all see the bow echoes. But when you study weather enough, and I know because I've studied weather enough, KFam, because of where I live, right? So I've studied the shit out of weather. You can almost pinpoint exactly where it's going to drop, exactly where it's going to go. I'm going to tell you something. When the April tornado that hit Amory, I don't know if you know anything about the one that hit Amory. I think it was 3 years ago now. When I saw it hit when it hit Rolling Forks, Mississippi, I said, when I took the trajectory and watched the path of that, I said, please, please don't let it hit Amory. And I said, I swear to God, that's where it's going to go. That's where it's going to go. I pray to God that it don't, hit the city proper and all this other stuff. And sure enough, when I looked at it, because we were actually, I don't know if y'all know this, but when that tornado hit, we were in the process of getting our places and doing all this stuff, right? So we're sitting there staying, and I'm watching the radar. I'm watching the radar. And I said, that's going to go right through Monroe County. It's going to go, now it may go a little bottom, it may go a little top, right? But I said, it's going to hit Monroe County. And sure enough, it didn't drop down in Wren, Mississippi and go through Amory. I ain't sitting here. I ain't sitting here. Because you can get to a point that you can watch them storms. You know exactly where they're going to go. But I was hoping that this was my hope. Because, obviously, we all love the, how weather is, but we don't want nobody to get hurt, right? So you can love to chase tornadoes, but don't like what they do to people, right? And I was praying that it would not strengthen and would weaken. You know what I'm saying? But it did the polar opposite of what I was praying. I was praying that it would not strengthen, and it did. I was saying, please God, protect. But it did. I will say this. The damage that it did, nobody was severely injured. There was a few injuries, but it wasn't. It could have been worse, is what I'm saying. Because of our weatherman, we have an amazing weatherman. If you don't know who Matt Lompon is, you ain't never watched CNN, because the man was on CNN and we went viral because of Matt Lompon. Let me explain to you some things that Matt Lompon did when he first became our weatherman. We fought heavy. They were trying to fire our weather team. The Byron Media Group actually owns our local stations, and they were trying to basically cut out our local news station and make it to where we had to watch like Atlanta or something like that, right? We fought that our entire area, when we heard about it, when it was leaked, signed a petition. Within a couple of days, it had more than 3,000 signatures. In a couple of days, the entirety of the area was in an uproar, and we were ready to riot in the streets for our weatherman. When he first came here, him and his wife, and they have 2 babies, and they've settled here, built their dream home. When they first came here, our weatherman timed how long it would take him to get from the weather desk to the safe zone in the to the basement where they have their tornado ready spot, right? He timed how long it would take him to get from there to there, so he would know how long he could stay on air to keep warning people. What people don't know about the tornado that hit East Tupelo in 2010, I think it was 2010. If I'm not mistaken, it was 2010. The station got rolled that day. He stayed on the live until he absolutely could not. He told the other weather people, the other people in the station, to go downstairs. He said, downstairs now, downstairs now. He made them all go downstairs. It was him by himself sitting up there with, I think, one of the camera dudes wouldn't leave him. But he made everybody get in the tornado safe zone because he saw it coming for him before it hit. And he stayed there to the very last minute when he didn't have a choice but to run downstairs. And then as soon as he He was sitting there watching it. I guess they had took his computer downstairs with him. As soon as he knew they were in the all clear, he jumped up, ran back upstairs, and was back on live within the matter of minutes. And they were trying to run off of backup generators because the power had went out. And he was still trying to make sure that everybody else that was in the line of that storm was safe. That's one hell of a weatherman. On second, he also made CNN news for saying on the Amory tornado, please God, watch over them. Lord help them. He did a prayer on live because he knew what was coming. He knew how bad that storm was. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's going to be awesome, K-Fam. You're going to be like that other dude I watch on YouTube. I forgot his name. But him and his friends, they do a YouTube channel. And they track all the storms from here to Tennessee all over and stuff. And they do a live stream. I forgot his name. But I'm subscribed to him. I totally forgot his name right now. But he does the bad weather streams too. And he does like people will be in his chat asking him to check such, and he does it. He's awesome. Yeah, Harley knows Ryan Hall. Yeah, I like him. Thank you, Harley. Yeah, Ryan Hall. He's amazing. I love watching his channel. I watch him and I watch my local weatherman, Matt Lumpon. And I think you say it Lumpon. I think that's how you say it. Or Labon. He's got a French last name. So, I try to say it right. But I've also met Matt in person. And he's just a really sweet, kind guy. And he's like our local celebrity. So when people meet him, they want to take pictures with him. They want to shake his hand. They want to thank him for all he's done for us here. And he's used to it. And he's just very personable and all that stuff because he's used to when he walks into a room, people see him as a minor celebrity in our area. Like he's a huge deal in our area because of what he does for us. And he has a YouTube channel on YouTube here. Baby Shark. Let me find his channel right quick because this man right here knows his stuff when it comes to it. I'm telling you. It's Laubhan, Laubhan or Lumpon. I always say it with a P for some reason, but this man right here, I'm going to show y'all. I'm going to share his channel out. This man right here is amazing when it comes to weather. He knows his stuff. I'm just saying. This Matt right here, y'all. This is my local weatherman who does North Mississippi and part of Alabama. And he does part of Tennessee. But yeah, I'm going to tell you something. Them naders, man. Them naders in April was something serious. And have y'all not noticed how Tornado Alley has shifted, in my opinion? Yeah, that's where I'm from, Gen X. I'm from the North Mississippi area. More specifically, I'm very close to Tupelo. I'm not in Tupelo, but I'm close to it. I've already been doxxed. I don't care. I'm very close to Tupelo. Yeah. Actually, this weekend and this week is the Tupelo Elvis Presley Festival. We are known for being the birthplace of Elvis Presley. And the original peanut butter and banana sandwich was made at, what's it? Oh, shoot. Something dry. It's a drive-in here in Tupelo, and I know the name of it. And why is it not coming up to Johnny's? Johnny's Drive-In in Tupelo, Mississippi is still open to this day, and they have the basically Elvis's his like where he used to sit. They have it like roped off and stuff, like his little booth. They have his booth roped off. Well, the Gen X fix, if you come down here to North Mississippi and you near Tupelo and you want to meet up for lunch or something, me, you, and my husband, we could so do that because I enjoy you, Mr. Gen X. So if you ever come down here, holla at me, hit me up. You can get me on IG. Now here's the thing, I do check who's on my if I don't know the if I don't know the account on Instagram, I'm not going to accept it unless you tell me it was you. You don't have to say the name per se, just give me like a roundabout. But my IG is _Charlie_87. I'm a little bit further south than South Haven. South Haven's a little bit northerner than me. I'm down near Tupelo, which is, do you know where, see what I'm close to besides Tupelo? Lee County, basically, is where it is at. The thing that would be above me would be New Albany is above me. Columbus is below me. So I'm in between Columbus and New Albany, to explain it to people who know the bigger cities. I will say, Hardly, I get that if y'all don't have a really good local team. You know what I'm saying? I would watch Ryan too. I would watch Ryan. But I do have a really good local team. So I watch Brian and I watch my local because my local dude is awesome. Did I post his link? Yeah, I did. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so New Albany's above me and Columbus is below me. So I'm in between both of those. Memphis is about an hour 45 minutes. I'm about an hour 45 up 78. It's just easier for you to watch, Ryan. I get that. Our local station has a great live stream on their website, so that's why I watch them while watching Ryan. I love our local man. Like, I love him more than anything. Now, I like Memphis Gen X. The only thing I will say is that Memphis has gotten more rough over the last few years when it comes to thefts and stuff and stealing your vehicles and shit like that. So what I try to tell folks who ain't never been to Memphis is don't stay in Memphis, right? Stay outside of Memphis and then Uber your way into Memphis. Just don't stay inside of Memphis. You get what I'm saying? Stay outside of Memphis and then don't stay in Memphis. Stay outside of Memphis. Oh, I do too. I'll be down there in downtown, Gen X. I'll be downtown on the east side. You know what I'm saying? Wait, no, it's north side. No, west side. My bad. I had to do my directional. Y'all don't laugh at me, but I had to do my directional to make sure what side I was on, whether it be east or west. And I have to remember it's the west side because east side is all right. If you're over there in Germantown, you all right. But you go over to the left side in downtown, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Shit, I ain't too far from you then, K-Fam. We about maybe, because I'm about an hour, not even an hour from New Albany. So I would say, because from Tupelo, it's an hour and 45, hour 45 minutes to get to Memphis, right? So it would be 4 hours and 45 minutes to you. I live about 45 minutes away from New Albany. Maybe 45, yeah. Because if you look on the map, you'll see Tupelo. Like, so, yeah. That's what I'm talking about, Gen X. I rent a car to downtown Memphis, hang on Bill. Now, a lot of people down here used to go to Bill Street all the time to party. Bill Street was the place to go on the weekend. You know what I'm saying? Bill Street was the shiznit. I know many people that used to do that on the weekends or whatnot because they had so many different good shows and all this shit. But recently, man, I've been hearing about they've been shooting up Bill Street, which upsets me. You know what I'm saying? Because I always wanted to go to Bill Street because it's the home of the blues. And if y'all didn't know this, a lot of the first original blues musicians who played on Bill Street were from Mississippi. Because Mississippi only had juke joints, right? We didn't have the recording studios, all that shit, right? But Memphis had that. So a lot of Mississippians that were blues legends that you know of, like Muddy Waters, BB King, all of them. They came from Mississippi, from the Mississippi Delta specifically. Well, if you ever bring your ass down to Tupelo, let me know, K-Fan. We can meet up and get some lunch. I can show you where the good food is. One of my favorite restaurants is in Saltillo. It's called Skybox, and it's awesome. And if you ain't been there, oh my God. And there's a little place up in, I want to go to that barbecue spot up in, I think it's in Guntown or Baldwin. And then there's another spot that's up in, I think it's in Boonville. Maybe Boonville or Baldwin. And it's called Simmer Down. It's only open like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But it's good as fuck, bruh. Like, I mean, good. Then they only open in the afternoon, Friday and Saturday, from 4 p.m. until a certain time. And on Sunday, they open up twice. But it's a little mom and pop. Man, it's good as shit. Good as shit. Now, Gen X, there's something we have in Tupelo you might want to check out next time they have it. They call it the Hog Roast. It's a festival. And if you like old cars, look up the Blue Suede Cruise. It's a giant car show. And they're having a car show for the festival, but it's smaller for the Elvis Presley Festival this week. They're going to be doing that on Saturday. But we actually have a thing called the Blue Suede Cruise. It is a giant car show. Then down in Monroe County, down in Amory, you got the Railroad Festival. Right? You have the Railroad Festival. Now that festival has been going since before I was born. And when the Big C hit, they had to stop doing it for 2 years, which broke my freaking heart, because that festival is almost like the only thing that Amory really has that brings in other people from other areas. So like that's when their tourism happens for them. And Amory makes a lot of money off that. Amory's a very small town. Very small. Like, everybody knows everybody. If you ever go down to Amory, Mississippi, I'm going to tell you 2 places to try. One of them you wouldn't even know if you pass it by. It's a little hole in the wall. It's called Knight's Drive-In. They make one of the best fried steak sandwiches you will ever eat in your life. They got a little place called Bill's Hamburgers that has one of the best burgers you've ever eaten in your life. And there's a little bitty thing way out in the deep woods. They sell something called a barn box. It's fried catfish. And baby, when they make you a good meal, it's good as hell. That's called, damn, why am I forgetting the name of that right now? I hate when that happens to me. Shoot. Let me look it up, because restaurants because I know the name of it for some reason. My mom, Pickles. It just hit me. It's called Pickles. If you ever get a chance to go down there, good as fuck, bruh. I can tell you all the little hole in the walls. There's a bunch down in Aberdeen, Mississippi. They got this little place that's a barbecue joint. And it looks like a house. It looks like a straight up house. I can't even remember the name of it. But it looks like a house. One day I'll have to take a picture of it for y'all next time I go down there. It looks like a house for real, but they make some of it. You can smell it. You'll know it's there because it's right across from the gas station in downtown Aberdeen. And they make some of the best barbecue you have ever tried in your life. And right next door is a soul food restaurant. And that lady makes the best soul food you ever ate in your life. Swear to God. Swear for Jesus. I'll put my... Ooh. I'm telling you. I know you want to, but you know it's not what's best for you right now. You got to get better and get on the mend before you can do that, because what happens if you get rolled again, K-Fam, and you ain't healed all the way? You don't want to have to deal with what I have to deal with every single day, and you truly don't want it to absolutely paralyze you, because then how would you feel if you couldn't do it ever again? So look at it like that. Yes, you may be down for a little while, right? But you'd rather be down for a little while than permanently, right? So look at it like that. And look at it like this. When the team sends you like the footage and whatnot, you can work on editing the footage and doing all that stuff, and you can help keep your team out of harm's way. So look at it as God's way of you helping the team, because you're in a safe zone, right? So you'll be able to look out to see if they're fixing to get rolled. You'll be able to direct them in the proper way. You know what I'm saying? So you'll be able to help the team from home. You know what I mean? Keep them from getting injured and all that other stuff. I just watched a video on Matt Lampong's thing where he killed a spider for one of the other weathermen. That's hilarious. I know you out this season, but guess what? Even if you're out for one season, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay because you still got other seasons to go, right? Huggies, rare treasure, beautiful. Love yous. But yeah, also I am gonna do a thing. Wednesdays, y'all know I do Wellness Wednesdays, right? So I'm fixing to start doing a thing to where I talk more about mental health, physical health. This next week, I may have some people come up that y'all are not necessarily privy to yet. Miss Princess and a few others that are from my original sector, the beef sector, to come up and speak about these things. You know what I'm saying? To teach one, reach one kind of thing. And K fam, I would love to be able to do a show with you one day or some of your peoples to teach people about storm chasing and about, what to look at when you look at bad storms. So, because here's the thing, if we teach people what to look for, they can look out for themselves also. See, that's what I'm saying. You helped him out last night. See, that may have been God's plan all along for you to be the person to keep them out of harm's way. Because what if you hadn't been home and y'all was all on that road and wasn't really paying attention because you was paying attention to driving and getting to a situation and you weren't able to tell them to stay out of the path of that big wedge, right? So that's the way you got to look at it. It was God's plan. Mm-hmm. But how you been doing today, my beautiful rare treasure? You got any good plans for this weekend? Anybody gonna eat some good food today or tomorrow? Y'all know I love talking about food. Now y'all know I love my chocolate cake. Mm-hmm. Y'all know I do. I love cake and cake loves me. Yeah, Red Church is like I was sitting there. I was like, K fam. That's what K fam does. He be chasing air naders and stuff. We call them air naders, and that would be really cool to be able to teach people. We could look at like still shots of and radar, older radar, to show people what to look for when they look at the storms to know if it's conducive. Also, their weather is conducive for tornadoes. Um, your thought process of when you're looking at a map where you think the worst ones are going to be and why, right? And just like when we talk oh, I love food. I'm not really doing too much. This Saturday, me and my husband are going to do our thing because, like I've said, if you have a relationship, build your relationship. Make sure that you feed into it. Oh, don't even talk dirty. I want some barbecue ribs. We gotta get a grill on that back porch. I gotta get a grill. I got to, man. I gotta do some barbecue grill. I gotta do some barbecue ribs soon. I need some ribs on the grill. I still want to try, babe. Um, that place that's over there and that little mom and pop operation. It looks like a shack over there in Boonville, I believe, or Baldwin. Anyway, I want to try that place. That damn place sounds amazing. It's a little barbecue joint. I love them little hole in the wall barbecue joints because they some of the best places you ever ate. But like, if you have a relationship, you know, take time to spend time with your partner so y'all have memories when you get old and gray. You can laugh about them, right? And you don't regret that shit because a lot of people put so much time into this internet and into YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, so on and so forth, that they forget that there are people around them. You know what I'm saying? They forget that things that they need to flourish. But I will say that the talent show is going to be next Saturday for anybody. I did drop, yeah, I dropped Big Lemon's channel up in here. With situations. I got to go back and watch Mother. I heard Mother went live, and I got to go back and watch that because y'all know I love watching me some Treasure Lane. Um, I love me some Spiller Boy TV. So I gotta go back and watch that and see what happened was in retrospect. And if Code would have dropped his damn channel, his damn link before I was to go live, I was gonna hit that bitch and say something. Here's my thing. I would have not have told a damn soul that I was giving anything to anybody because when you tell something like that, see, that's why I also don't tell folks, like, if somebody hits up my Cash App, I do a thank you most of the time, and I do a blanket thank you. And there's a reason why. I don't want people pocket watching my people. I don't like that shit. Because if you're going to be nice enough to do something for me, I don't want people then chasing you around YouTube. Well, you gave such and such, such and such. So now you ain't giving me such. Nah, I protects my peoples. You know what I'm saying? And that's just something I do. Now, if y'all want to give to the puppy fund, the reason I got my Cash App today up, usually I don't do that. Y'all know I don't do that. It's because of those 3 new puppies that I just saved the other day, yesterday. We saved them. We found them. Somebody dumped them and the mama dog on the side of the road. The mama dog, unfortunately, did not make it and we were not able to save her or whatnot. But we saved the 3 puppies, and I've got to get them some medications to make sure they're healthy. And that way, when I find them a home, they've already had their first set of medications. If y'all are not able to donate today, it's okay. Please don't ever put yourself in a bind for me or anybody on this internet. Always think of yourself first and your family. Real life always comes first. Always. Please take care of yourself. And don't do that because I've seen people do that. I've seen people put themselves in a bind to help someone else out, and like, I understand having a good heart, but don't do that to yourself. You know what I mean? See, that's what I'm talking about, KFM. You know, when you look at that map, though, what area is most likely going to be hit the hardest, which one's more conducive, because there's a couple of factors when it comes to storm chasing, right? There's a couple of factors when you know what area is fixing to get it the roughest. First, you look at the lead line. You look at the lines coming in. See how strong the storms are themselves. Then you're looking at the humidity, the heat in the areas that it's going to hit. Another thing you can look for, if the area is going to get rain before the actual line comes in, you know that's going to stabilize the environment. So it's most likely not going to be as bad, right? That's why all of us in the South, you can ask anybody who has to deal with tornadoes that lives in an area where you have tornadoes as an issue. You pray for the rain. You pray that rain is going to hit before that storm comes. Because you know if that rain comes and it cools off that environment, doesn't make it hotter, and it's cooling it down, then the conductivity for the tornadoes is going down. The percentages are going down. Versus if you get rain let's say you get rain at 10 o'clock that morning, but the storm ain't supposed to hit till 5 o'clock that afternoon. That rain is actually, and the sun's going to come back out, going to make it 20 times hotter and 20 times worse. And that means your storms are fixing to be really freaking bad. So you look at the conductivity of the area, of the environment, and it's going to let you know which area is going to be worse. Which area is possibly going to have more spin ups, more problems, more tornadic activity. And if you're watching the line as it's coming through, you can see what area is going to get hit the hardest by watching the storms come together and converge. And I'm pretty sure when y'all look at that, that's something y'all look for, right, K-Fam? Y'all are looking at the conductivity of the area, how the storm is going to place itself. You're looking at the humidity. You're looking at different factors. Did that place get a little bit of rain? Is it going to get hotter, more humid, or did it cool off and now it's not as conductive? Because that's a big point when it comes to storm chasing and or weather. Conductivity of whether or not the storms are going to have that environment to be able to build themselves. That to me seems like one of the biggest factors. I want some ribs now and a barbecue bacon burger. Oh, a triple bacon barbecue burger. Man, I'm still mad. Now I got to tell y'all something else. I'm still pissed off at Buffalo Wild Wings for getting rid of my favorite freaking burger. Those bastards. They got rid of their barbecue burger, which was good as hell. I'm still mad about that. I'll be mad to the day I pass away. They got rid of that and it added some janky ass sandwiches to the fucking uh thing. I'm still mad about that. Yep. Your velocity, your hook echoes, your low level rotations, your humidity, your dry line. I always look at, now this is something I look at, KFAB. Not only do I look at the line itself, which one has the best version ability for rotation, the hook echoes, the bow echoes, all those things. I'm also looking in front of the storm and which area has the like most conductivity in that area. Like let's say in Tennessee, we got an area that the humidity's high. It rained early that morning. It got hotter. It got worser, right? And then I look down here at Mississippi. Well, it rained right before the storm, and it's cooled off. It's cooled off, right? The ability for the storms to get worse has diminished. I'm going to be looking up further north at that point, right? I'm looking for that area where the environment is unstable, because those are usually where the worst ones hit. Now, I will tell you something. The day that the tornado that hit Smithville, Mississippi, that also was around the time that was when Joplin got hit and a bunch of different areas that year. That was one of the worst years for tornadoes. The Joplin, Missouri one and the one that hit Smithville, Mississippi. Our sirens had been going off all day that day for most areas. And that's why so many people passed away. It was crazy. And I'm gonna tell you something. That was one of the most conductive years we've ever had. When those tornadoes hit, that was one of the worst years to record to date that I've ever seen. When it comes to that, so many people lost their lives during those tornadoes, and there was so much destruction. And I'm gonna tell you something. One thing I don't ever want to play with myself, I never want to see the finger of God. I hope to never see that in my lifetime. And the finger of God is an F5, if y'all didn't know. They classified tornadoes from an F0 to an F5 based on the amount of destruction, wind velocity, and different things like that, is how they class a tornado. Now, most people don't know that they don't fully class the tornado until after the fact. They will semi-class it sometimes during, but it can change classification after the fact because it has quite a few factors of why it becomes an F0, an F1, an F2, an F3, F4, F5. It's not necessarily about the size of the tornado per se. It's more so about the destruction, the wind velocity, and all that stuff. See, that's what I'm saying. You already knew though, like you knew about the graphs and you already, before it even got to the point that it did, you knew about what areas it was going to be conductive in. Because if you've been around weather long enough, you can pretty much look that shit up. You know, you can look that you know what to look for. You know what? That's why I also love the movie, the original um, Twister movie, because Joe had that special ability within herself, that she could just feel it in her bones. And I think some people got that. I think some people got that. Like they're like, no, I'm telling you, that one's gonna shift. It ain't gonna keep going the way they think it is. It's gonna shift. And I had that problem one night. I was sitting here in the bed and I kept saying, "Man, this one night I woke everybody up in my house. Everybody was asleep. I was watching the storms, and like, I don't like the way this one's looking. This one's going to shift quite terribly." When I was watching the radar, and it did. It shifted 4 times. It was supposed to go in a more northern fashion, ended up going in a more southern fashion, and it actually shifted 4 times. And that one was a little bit harder to graph, to tell you the truth. And them sidewinders are a bitch. The ones that shift real bad, those are terrible. I'm always scared of those storms, to tell you the truth, the most. The ones that are on a direct path are usually easy to map out. But those ones that shift and twist, and they're called sidewinders, and you'll think they're going in a northerly fashion, then all of a sudden they change direction altogether. Those are the scariest to me, because you can't keep, like, you don't know where they're going to hit next. They keep shifting too far and moving in weird directions. In simple terms, in the graphs I posted 2 weeks ago, the green and the red, you want it close together, not far apart. Very true. Because you have to have inflow and outflow, right? You have to have, and another thing that's scary as a storm chaser, and I know you have to deal with this, K-Fam, is rain wrapped tornadoes. The ones you can't see coming at nighttime. The rain wrapped, even during the daytime, the rain wrapped are hard to see. The ones that are like inside of the area, that are harder to see, and you can't confirm sometimes right away until it's right on you. Those are the scary ones too. Those are real scary. Yeah, I'll tell you that too, K fam. I like to, me, myself, and I, when I know storms are coming, I like to step out on my porch and I like to feel the environment. Like, for some reason, it's like this. The only way I can explain it, K fam, and maybe you understand it too, it's an eerie feeling you get. Like, you know, this area is going to do it. Like, you just feel this, like, eeriness in the air and in around you, and you're like, yeah, I don't like this feeling too much. That's the only way I can explain it to others, because it's like you can feel it in your bones. If Yeah, those rain wraps are very dangerous because you cannot see them coming. There is no visual, and the rain is so hard, that you don't know it's on you until it's on you. And those are the ones that are the scariest. But it's something about when, an area is conducive for tornadoes and you know what's coming. It's somehow you can feel it, and it feels real. It feels real eerie. Like you just have this, like the hair on the back of your neck and arms is standing up kind of situation. I've every time I know storms are coming, I'll walk out and go, "No, I don't think this one ain't gonna be that bad. It might go right above us, right below us, but we're gonna be all right." And then other times, like, I don't like this. I don't like this. Let me see how this gonna go. Let me see if some rain gonna hit or something. This don't feel right. Like I've been able to do that for years now since I was young. Since I was young. And you were super lucky though, K fam, with that situation that you're okay. Um and all that stuff. Because that could have been very dangerous. But to show people, is it okay if I show your community wall to show people what the graphs look like? Um, that way, where you were talking about the red and green, people understand. But yeah, I get this eeriness when stuff like that I know is coming through, and it's a crazy thing for real. But it, it's also because of instincts. It's because you've lived in it for so long and been around it. Okay, so I'm gonna show y'all this graph from KFAM to show y'all what the graph that KFAM was talking about. Right quick. So this right here, let me zoom in so y'all can see better. This is the graph right here. So you see how the red and the green are closer together and all that? That lets you know that that area is going to be going through some stuff, right? That lets you know, the different aspects, and you want the red and the green to be together. Like over here, where stuff, especially this area right here, where things are like on top of each other, that's the more dangerous area. Like right here, where everything's converging, or that's a little bit further apart down here, more say. But like like when they start converging and being on top of each other and all that stuff, that's what he's talking about. The closer ones, right? When they're real close together, like right here and right here. You see how that also has, yeah. So that's what he's basically talking about to explain it to y'all. When you see the, let me make sure I'm little so they can see better. Where's my little thing? Make myself a little tiny person, a little tiny person. Um, to zoom in to show better. Um, you see how in this graph, these things are coming together: the blue, the green, the red. When that starts coming together in those areas, that's the areas that are more likely to get hit and harder. Um, and you start seeing them being two separate. That's the area that's not as dangerous. This area down, this right here, was more right there. You see that where they're very close together. That means that things are coming together in a for us not in a good way per se, but for a storm chaser in a good way because that's where they want to be. And I do want to say thank you to all of our storm chasers because here's the thing: we wouldn't get confirmation on certain tornadoes that are on the ground causing damage if it wasn't for our storm chasers. Because sometimes with radar, it doesn't confirm the tornado itself, but our storm chasers do. They're able to confirm. They can see it. They see the damage that it's left behind, or see the actual tornado and can confirm it for us. So if it wasn't for storm chasers doing their job, a lot of times we wouldn't know about them or have confirmation. We would just have radar saying it's possible. It's possible. So I do want to say thank you to our chasers. Because of y'all putting yourselves in harm's way, y'all actually help us. Um, But thank you, K-Fam, for letting me show that. Things in that second graph were coming together at ground level instead of higher in elevation. I like seeing it close together at the higher elevation. So K-Fam's basically talking about that graph basically shows you from ground level all the way up into the sky. So when it's higher up like that, it's more conducive. Right? Am I right, K-Fam? You should totally do a class on this, K-Fam. You should totally do that for one of your videos. Do a class on that so people can understand. That would be totally awesome. But yeah, so who you think's you said Tennessee and Kentucky today are going to get the worst brunt of it? Because if you ever see them coming my way and you think I need to duck and take cover, please let me know. say Charlie, duck and cover, bob and weave. Because I will straight up listen, unlike other folks. I will listen. I will bob and weave. I will take cover. I will say that me myself and I love the learning, and I love knowing about weather because I think weather is actually very interesting to me. But that's like me with a lot of things. I love learning about mental health, physical health. I like learning about different things. Like the other day, a person that's in my beefing sector with me, we were talking about back conditions and physical conditions, and she was telling me that they got this new thing which I had never heard of, because it's not ever been recommended to me, and it is called uh, a something simulator. Hold on, it's called a what simulator? I gotta remember what kind of simulator it's called again. Um, Hold on, let me visit that site again so I can remember the name of it. Um, it's what's it called again? Let me look it up. It is called a spinal cord simulator. I've never heard of a spinal cord simulator before. I didn't know that was a thing. I've heard of fusion surgeries and I've heard of that, and I refuse to get the fusion surgery myself because I have degenerative disc disease. I would end up having to have my entire spine fused. It's not going to help me. It really isn't. Because eventually what's going to happen is my whole entire back will be fused with metal. Um, and it's going to, I will have no movement. I already have very limited mobility, like movement as it is. Let me show y'all. Basically, what's it called? I have to look at the name of it again. It's basically to where the in the spinal cord, in the spinal column, I have like the little things that are responsible for you moving forward and backward for me, um, are degenerating, and I have like really bad arthritis because of that, and different things. I got to look up the name of it because y'all know I have problem with that. Let me get on my connection so I can look at my last results and tell y'all that. Well, that's the wrong one. That's the right one. Log in to myself. Um, it's facet atrophy, and here let me show y'all what that is. Okay, present screen, share screen, share. Okay, facet atrophy is a degenerative condition affecting the facet joints. The facet joints are those little things that poke out right here, that help with front and back movement and side to side and things, often leading to chronic low back pain. It causes by degeneration of the joints between the spinal bones, which can result in symptoms such as pain, stiffness, potential nerve compression due to bone spurs. Treatment options may include physical therapy, pain management, in some cases, surgical intervention. Um, I refuse to have the fusion surgery, right? I refuse to have it, because of what it can cause. Um, and I just do not want to have that issue in my life. You know what I'm saying? I do not want to have that issue in my life. Um, I'm gonna show y'all what this is, though. This is because everybody has like different forms and whatnot, but I'm gonna share. I'm gonna share with y'all today something.
Joints, which are these is caused by arthritis within the facet joints, which are these joints right here. So they're between the two vertebrae. Facet arthropathy causes typically what we call axial back pain. So back pain that goes along the middle of the back. And sometimes it can spread out like a band. Patients describe it as like a thick belt that goes down along your back. And it's caused by the arthritis in your spine. Arthritis builds up for many reasons. It can build up for injury, for working or lifestyle, or even from sitting for long periods of time. You can have this build up and then it results in that pain. We have the ability to target this specifically. What we do is something called medial branch blocks. Medial branch blocks target the nerves that receive the signal from these arthritic joints. They numb those nerves, and as a result, you can increase your movement, increase your quality of life, and then prevent further degeneration of these joints by increasing your activity. Most patients have really good results from this, and this really helps along with that. Caused by the arthritis.
Basically, mine was caused what from an accident that I had when I was 15 years old on a bus. Hey, Miss Tracy, but I have facet joint degeneration, from atrophy there and mild disc degeneration. So I have both of those on top of each other. So not only is this part right here degenerating a little bit, I also have that right there, and then in my neck, I have problems with bursitis in my neck, and it is. Let me look, see if I can find that. I'm looking at when I had the MRI done on my neck. It tells me, I could tell y'all which, because I can't remember right off the top of my head which ones are done. Um, okay, that was when I had my brain MRI. I'm looking for the one. Oh, there we go. I have in my T2, T1, T2 and T1 axle precostal, T1 axle and sagittal post, 20 millimeters off skin, 150. I have in the C4 to the C7. So C4, C5, C5, C6, C6, C7. I have in two of them minimal disc bulging, mild canal stenosis of 9 millimeters, and then disc bulging and osteoid formation eccentric to the left, mild canal stenosis, which basically means the canal is like narrowing in my neck. So I have disc bulging in two of them, and more severe disc bulging in the third one. So from the C4 to the C7, I have problems in my neck. And then in my back, I have degenerative disc disease and basically arthritis in the those little joints right here, in the facet joints. So I have mild degeneration in these and facet joint degeneration here. So yeah, and it was caused by an injury for me. It was caused by an injury, and I'll have that for the rest of my life. It'll never go away. Hey, shaker, shaker, shaker. You have degenerative disc disease also. I'm gonna tell you something. You know as well as I do, then Miss Tracy. That shit ain't fun. It hurts, and some days are better than others. So some days you're up, you're walking, you're mobile, everything's great. Next minute you're like, ow. And sometimes it can put you right on your ass. You just had the C1 to the C3 fused. I'm gonna tell you this. The only thing I will say, K fam, is that be careful injuring yourself in the future with a fusion. I refuse to have the fusion because I would end up having to have so much fused that it makes no sense for me, if that makes sense. It makes no sense for me to do it because it's just going to eventually have to have my entire back done that way. And I have heard some people say that it works for them, and others say that it makes it worse. So that's why I refuse to have it myself and whatnot. So they're going to be chasing Texas and New Mexico today. I'm gonna tell you, Miss Tracy, when you go to Walmart, get you okay. I'm gonna tell you something that'll help with your soaking in hot water. Get you some, Epsom salt, but get the kind that has hemp seed oil in it, and get you a bag of the lavender and mix them. And because the lavender is going to relax you anyway, right? The smell of it will relax you. But the hemp seed oil one, not only does it like make your skin feel really soft, but it'll help with the pain a little bit. Not it. Obviously, it's not going to completely take away. Also, I'm gonna tell you something I have, Miss Tracy, that I got for my birthday. It's the best thing ever. It's a heating pad that looks like a vest, right? And it heats up in my neck and my back. Um, it is the best thing ever. Um, and I love the thing. I love it with a passion. Let me see if I can find the exact one. Um, if I can find the exact one. It looks like, oh, I think that is it right there. There it is. Hold on. I'm gonna show y'all. This mofo is awesome. Well, this one's similar to the one I got. It's not exactly because the one I have actually zips up in the front. Let me see if I can find the one that zips up in the front because that one kind of looks like it, but mine actually zips. So let me go to shopping and see if I can find the exact one because I'm gonna tell you something. I love that thing, and it looks like a vest, and it's awesome. Um, it does both for the neck and the back at the same time. It's freaking awesome. I love that thing. But it does kind of look like this one right here a little bit. It does go further down on the chest, but the chest area does not heat up, only the neck and the back. So this would work ultimately the same, I would suppose. But let me see if I can find one that's almost exactly like it because I would like to spread the wealth to y'all and show y'all what I'm talking about so that y'all could possibly get one because it's freaking awesome and it works awesomely. But let me show y'all right quick. This thing is freaking awesome. I love it. Like, I absolutely love this thing with a passion. Let me go ahead and share this. Let's see, where's it at? Here it is. So you look up a heating pad that goes for not just the back, but the neck also. Huggies, church lady. But this right here, you see how it goes around the neck and it looks like a vest and it goes around the back? It heats up the neck and the back at the same time. Now, the back of mine goes up the back of my neck a little bit. It kind of looks like this. It has the straps around the belly where you can strap it. But mine has a zipper part right here and it zips up and it heats all the way around the neck and the back at the same time. And I can set it to a higher setting. I can set it lower. It's awesome. I got the one that kind of looks like this, looks like a vest. It's awesome. I'll say this, you'll love it. See how on this one it heats around the chest area, around the neck, around the back? Mine does that. It is freaking awesome. I love that thing. Like, oh, when I'm having a really bad day, I'll put that on and lay down, and it's the only thing that eases my back and my neck. I'm just telling you, it's the only thing that eases it. Look for the one that does the back and the neck. And they're not too expensive. They depending on which version you get. They're not too expensive. You know what I mean? Like 30, 25. That one's a little bit, that one's extra long back and neck. But it is really awesome. I will say that. It is worth whatever you put on it or put into it. Worth the money, and you're going to get a lot of usage out of it. Like that one's $54 or whatnot, right? So it may be a little bit to buy it initially, but it is very well worth it. Very well worth it. I would tell you, if you have back and neck pain, it is very well worth it. Let's see. Well, it won't let me really, I was trying to, yeah, it keeps doing that. That's weird. But it is worth it. I'll tell you that. It does for the neck, the shoulders, and the back. It is awesome. I swear by it. I swear I do. And also, Miss Tracy, I've never heard of radio frequency ablation. I actually had to look it up. I had to actually look it up when you were talking about it to see what it was, because I didn't know. So it's a minimally invasive procedure used for providing relief for people with chronic by destroying certain nerves using electronic currents produced by radio frequency waves. It treats varicose veins as an alternative to traditional stripping operations, pain management, shrinking the size of cancerous tumor, nodules, and other growths, blocking or interrupting pain signals being sent from targeted nerves into the spine. And they say it really is good for the hips and for the back. Let's look up what this is, because I've never heard of it, Miss Tracy, and I like to learn. I'm a learning person. I think this one looks like it might be more interesting to watch. So we're going to try this one right here, and I'm going to show y'all what Miss Tracy's talking about for back and nerve pain right quick. Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. I was supposed to be on this one. Oops, my bad.
My name is Dr. Arpan Patel, and I'm one of the pain physicians here at the Iowa Clinic. And today I wanted to discuss in simple and lay terms the process of doing radiofrequency ablation, or RFA, so patients can understand how and why this procedure is done. The first thing to understand about RFA is that it's not surgery. There's no cutting, there's no anesthesia required, and it can be done within the office within 1 hour, usually about 45 minutes. It's covered by nearly all insurances, and it's a treatment option that's been available for about 30 years, although the equipment and the technique that we use today is much more refined than it was when the procedure first came out. It's typically done for the neck pain, mid-back pain, and low back pain, which is the most common indication for why patients get radiofrequency ablation done. And for our Medicare patients, it can also be done for the knee and in the low back in the area of the SI joint or the sacroiliac joint as well. Let's take a look at the anatomy. This is a more detailed lumbar spine model piece, and I'm using this as the example because low back pain is the most common indication for why patients get radiofrequency ablation done. So on the front of the spine here, these two pieces are the bones that make up your spinal column, when we call them vertebral bodies. In between them, you have a disc. This is a shock absorber in your back. And then on the opposite side, and this is the back part of your spine, these bones are the bones that stick out, and we call them spinous processes. Those are the bones that you feel when you're touching your back. And off to the side, you have two bones here that are meeting and come together to form this joint right where the needle tip is. And these two ridges meet together to form the facet joint. The facet joint allows you to twist and bend your back and your spine, especially with motion. And over time, arthritis can develop here, inflammation can develop here, and that's what's depicted on the other side in the red. And as you can see here, this joint on this side is much more inflamed and larger compared to the opposite side. And the reason for that is because arthritis has developed here over time. Arthritis is bony overgrowth in an area in which it does not belong. Now, looking at the neural anatomy here, or the nerves, we have the spinal cord directly in the middle, and off towards the sides, we have nerves that are hanging and going out. And these nerves are going to end up going into your legs and helping you move your legs. And those are our motor branches. On the opposite side here, this model depicts smaller branches coming out of the spinal cord and going directly to that inflamed facet joint. And these are our sensory branches. So what we want to take away from this is that there's two broad categories of nerves in our spine. We have sensory branches, which help us feel, and we have motor branches, which help us move parts of our body. And for the ablation, we're targeting the sensory branches, so we can decrease the feeling at the area where we have the arthritis to ultimately improve our pain. And we're trying to stay away from the motor branches, thus preserving our function of the legs. Let's take a look at the equipment. So this is a radiofrequency ablation machine. The machine uses its energy to create an electrical current. And ultimately, that electrical current goes from the machine through the wiring system and ultimately ends up at the wire tip. The wire tip is then connected to another piece that acts as a conduit for that electrical current, and this is what we call a probe. The probe, eventually, once the needle is appropriately placed and next to the nerve that we want to burn, the stylet is removed by the doctor, and the probe then goes into the stylet, ultimately taking the current to the tip of the needle. When the current gets to the tip of the needle, the side of the needles heat up. They're parked right next to the sensory branches, like so. The tip of the needle heats up off to the side, and the nerve is burned. And again, with radiofrequency ablation, we're targeting the sensory nerves, so the feeling at the area of the arthritis is lessened. We're staying away from the motor branches so we don't cause any nerve injury into the legs. Typically, when patients get radiofrequency ablation done, they're discharged on the same day, immediately after the procedure. You have some minor restrictions on the day of the procedure, and the next day, you're almost always able to return back to full activity. Most of the time after the ablation, it takes 7 to 14 days for the patient to experience any efficacy from the procedure, because when we ablate that sensory branch, it creates a chemical reaction in that area, which then takes time to denervate that area and ultimately for you to feel pain relief. Typically, the full effect of an ablation will take about 3 weeks, and almost always you'll follow up with your doctor in 4 to 6 weeks to see how much improvement you've received and whether or not there's any other pain contributors left. How do you make sure that it won't get paralyzed or have a nerve injury? There's an added step called sensory and motor testing. So what happens here is when the tip of the needle is parked right next to the sensory branch, we ask the patient a series of yes or no questions that feels like a pressure, a tingle, and sometimes a twitch. This is not painful. What we're trying to do is, with the needle appropriately placed, we're trying to get a combination of yes or no answers or feedback from the patient to confirm that we're near the sensory branch and away from the motor branch. Depending on the patient's answers, I'm able to then make fine-tune adjustments on the order of millimeters to make sure then my needle tip is positioned next to the nerves that I want to burn, the sensory branches, and away from the ones that I don't want to burn, and those are the motor branches. So in the first part of the stimulation here, 3 needles are typically placed on each side of where the patient has their pain. And we start off, and you see at the top here, it says sensory and motor testing. Each electrode corresponds to each needle that's in your body. And we go one electrode after the other. We use this knob to turn up the stimulation so you're able to feel a pressure, a tingle in that area where the needle is. And if you are able to feel it below a certain number, which in this case is 0.5, that tells me that I need less energy to get you to feel something, which means that the needle and nerve are close to each other. And that's exactly what I want. If my stimulation numbers are too high and I need a lot of energy to get you to feel something, then we know that the needle and the nerve are far away from each other and I need to make adjustments. That is the part of the sensory testing, and that is what ensures that this procedure works. The next piece is the motor testing. When we go to the motor testing portion, this is a different kind of testing. You see motor stimulation here on top. Again, we go through all 3 electrodes. This time I turn up the stimulation with my machine and the patient feels a twitch or a tap. We want the patient to feel the twitch or tap in the back. We don't want the patient to feel the twitch or tap in the leg. When the patient does not feel the twitch or tap in the leg, we know that the needle is away from the branches that allow you to move your legs. And that's how we preserve motor function. So once the sensory and motor testing looks perfect, then we go to the RFA portion. And that is where we hit thermal RFA here. You'll notice that it says thermal RFA on top. The interface of the screen has now turned red. And our target temperature is 80 Celsius. I've given the patient a lot of numbing medicine at this point, so they're comfortable. And the feeling or sensation from this ablation should be minimal, if any. At this point, we hit the start button, and then a timer starts. When the needle gets to its target temperature of 80 degrees Celsius, a timer will start, and the run of the ablation will last for 1 minute and 30 seconds. After the first 1 minute and 30 is up, we're going to flip the needles 90 degrees. That will not hurt. It takes seconds to do. We flip the needles 90 degrees so the patient gets a nice circular burn in that area to make sure that the procedure works. And then we hit start again and run the ablation for a second run for another 1 minute and 30 seconds. And then the RFA is finished. Will the RFA help my leg pain? Typically, pain in the legs happens from nerve compression in the low back, from a disc herniation, or from stenosis. Stenosis is a hole in the bone where the nerve comes out is smaller than it should be. Now, typically when we look at the spine figure, we can see the spinal cord in the middle, and we can see these motor branches that come off towards the side. That's where the stenosis and nerve compression happens. When it happens in the middle of the spine, we call that central canal stenosis. When it happens off to the side, as the nerves come out of the spinal cord and go into the legs, we call that foraminal stenosis. Now remember, these are motor branches. These are not branches that we can burn, because these are the branches we need to protect because they provide innervation to our legs. So in this situation, the answer is that RFA is not meant for leg pain. RFA is meant for what we call axial pain along the back. It could be in the neck, the mid-back, or the low back. Knee pain is an exception. You can do radiofrequency ablation for knee pain. Why can't I just get a steroid injection for my arthritis? You can get a steroid injection for the arthritis. That is certainly a treatment option. But being that the arthritis doesn't heal or go away with time, the steroid injections in this case typically wear off within 3 months or less. With radiofrequency ablation, you can get 6 to 18 months relief or more without repeated steroid administration. And that's generally better for the health of your bones long term. The ablation can be repeated if and when the pain returns. Can the pain come back? Why doesn't the ablation last forever? Yes, the pain can come back because the nerves that we burn can grow back, and there's no way around that. Sometimes the pain comes back, but it's not nearly as bad as you remember when you started this treatment process, in which case you can put off a repeat ablation. If the pain does return, you and your doctor should decide if repeat ablation is right for you depending on how you're doing at that time clinically and how bad your symptoms are overall. Can I get back surgery to fix my problem once and for all? What if I've already had back surgery? Based on the data we have today and the studies we have today, Surgeons typically operate for pain in the extremities, the arms, and the legs only. That's nerve compression at the motor branches. If that is your primary issue, then surgery may be an option for you. However, if you mostly have pain in the neck, the mid-back, or the low back, then surgery is typically not an option. If you've already had back surgery, depending on the type of surgery you've had, you may still be a candidate for an ablation. But that's a conversation that you should have with your doctor once your imaging has been reviewed. What kind of tests do I need to see if ablation is right for me? A simple X-ray at the part of the spine that's painful would be enough. I typically order this with flexion and extension. That's when you're bending forwards and backwards, so I can see if you have any slippage or any shifting in your spine with movement. We want to make sure that that slippage, if it's even there, is not bad enough where ablation is not an option. That can happen, but it's pretty rare. Typically, an MRI or a CT scan can help your doctor give you a better opinion on other types of nerve compression that you have that may be causing pain in your arms and legs. And you would get much more of an all-encompassing medical opinion during your consultation. But for the sake of radiofrequency ablation, all you need is an X-ray. That's all I have for you today. I hope this video has given you more understanding on radiofrequency ablation, and I hope you feel a bit more comfortable in having a discussion with your doctor on whether or not this is an appropriate treatment option for you. What I like to tell my patients is that the best time to consider radiofrequency ablation as a treatment option is when you feel that your pain on a daily basis prevents you from doing what you want to do. And that's the best time to consider this procedure.
So actually, he really explained that very, very well. Yeah, I'm very precautious. I'm going to show what KFAM just shared for us. This is a website. It's the Storm Prediction Center, and it shows you, if you look at it here, right, which storm looks to be the roughest. And they're showing right here that over Texas and in this area right here is going to be pretty rough, and way up here, so they're showing you slight. The orange right there is mid. They have ENH, TSM, MRGL, and slight and high. Let's see, what does that's enhanced, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong, but I think that's what that stands for. Enhanced chance. That's slight chance, I believe. Marginal. I could be, let me see if they have a. Oh yeah, I was right. Look at me being all smart and shit. So those are enhanced. That's a slight chance. Those are marginal chances. And then if it's in purple or pink, specifically pink, you have a very high chance. So right here it says the conductive outlook, WNS Storm Prediction Center, Norman, Oklahoma. Valid. There is an enhanced risk of severe thunderstorms this afternoon and evening over parts of central and southern high plains. There's a slight risk of severe thunderstorms over portions of the mid-Mississippi and Tennessee valleys and over southern New England. Summary: scattered severe thunderstorms are expected across portions of the central and southern high plains. Very large hail, damaging winds, and a tornado threat is anticipated. Isolated severe thunderstorms are also possible, extended into the Tennessee-Ohio valleys and over parts of the southern New England. Damaging winds are the primary concern in these areas. Mississippi and Tennessee Valley morning radar loop shows a mature quasar linear MCS over eastern Oklahoma tracking into western Arkansas. This system has produced sporadic severe wind reports overnight and may continue to pose that risk for a few more hours. Some weakening is expected through late morning, with eventually rejuvenation of storms as they spread across the parts of Kentucky and Tennessee and vicinity. Model guidance varies on the extent of severe storms coverage. However, favorable westerly flow aloft, dew points in the 70s, and pockets of strong daytime heating will encourage intense thunderstorms redevelopment. In the high plains, the forecast scenario for today is similar to yesterday, with two areas of focus for severe thunderstorm activity. One is along the CO foothills, where moist southerly southeasterly low-level winds and moderately steep mid-level lapses. Rates will yield afternoon millscape over 1,000 2,000 JKG. Storms are expected to intensify by mid-late afternoon along the foothills and spread southeastward into the adjacent plains. Forecast surroundings show general straight line hydrographs or hodographs. Let me say that right. I don't know why I thought that was hydro. Which will promote splitting supercells capable of very large hail and a few tornadoes. Activity may organize upscale during the evening over southwest Kansas and spread across Oklahoma overnight. Further south, yesterday and last night, convection has reinforced a surface outflow boundary which will extend across West Texas. Similar to yesterday, intense supercells are expected to form in vicinity of this boundary during the late afternoon, posing another risk of very large hail and a few tornadoes. Southern New England, a plume of seasonal high PW values extends across the Ohio Valley into southern New England. Modest air mass destabilization is expected by midday with the axis of 1,000 2,000 JKG SBK expected to extend across the southern New England by 18Z. While deep layer shear is not forecast to be that strong, adequate flow should exist for at least some organization. Locally damaging winds are the primary concern with storms that form along this instability axis. So basically what they're saying here in layman's terms is that this area right here of enhance is going to have more chances of tornadic activity. Not saying that there's a slight chance in these yellow parts, depending on stability and how it either dissipates or strengthens. But the highest chance is for the two areas of orange right here. Because of the outflow and intake and all those things. Did I do a good job explaining that to people? Also, I'm staying away from surgery too, Miss Tracy, because and unless I absolutely have to. Now, I do note that with my neck issue, it is possible in the future. If things become severe. The only way I'll have the surgery is if I absolutely don't have a choice. I have no choice about the matter, things like that. But if at all possible, I am going to try to stay away from it as long as possible. Lubbock was conducive yesterday. Was an amazing day. It was a wild yesterday, which is why I told my team stay put in Lubbock and chase into New Mexico. But they are showing the more higher risk would be in Texas and Lubbock and the surrounding areas into New Mexico. So you are 100% right on that. And thank you for this website, Kate Fam, because this gives more of a detailed view. So basically, the enhanced is Lubbock, Texas, Clovis, New Mexico, Plainview, Texas, Liberal, Kansas, Hereford, and the slight risk, Memphis, Tennessee, Denver, Colorado, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Nashville, Tennessee, Tulsa, Oklahoma, marginal, Columbus, Ohio, North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, Boston, MA, Atlanta, Georgia, and Pittsburgh, PA. But the highest risks are in Lubbock, Texas, Clovis, New Mexico, Plainview, Texas, Liberal, Kansas, and Hereford, Texas. So, yeah, those are the most enhanced versions right now by what the radar and indication is from, inflow, outflow, all those things. All those beautiful, lovely beam footages. Yeah, this actually seems to be a very good site. I love how they break it down. Also, how they break down why it's enhanced, why it's severe. What is the possibilities for each area. The fact of how they tell you everything in a concise manner. I do like it. I'm actually going to bookmark that website. Thank you for that. So I bookmarked that website for sure. I'm gonna go have to go figure out what I'm gonna cook today. I have no idea. And figure out something. If anybody would like to support the puppy fund, my Cash App is CharlieN87. If you want to do that, just for puppy fund, just to make sure those puppies get all the things that they need. You don't have to. I'm just putting it out there. Y'all know how I am. I don't. First off, I don't like to e-beg. Secondly, I don't like to put that shoulder or responsibility on y'all. I just give the people the option if they so choose to, and it's in their heart to do so, or they're able to do so. I also don't want people ever to put themselves in a bind for me. I want to thank everybody for being members of mine. Y'all don't know that this month, y'all's contribution when I got my YouTube check helped me pay from some out-of-pocket medical expenses that I would not have generally been able to afford. So I want to thank you all. Also, thank you to everybody who just hits that like button, views, just chills with me, all those things. I am very thankful and appreciative of every single one of you. And I hope that all of you have the best day possible. Okay. And if y'all know of anybody going live or having, doing something today, you may put it in the comments now, or you can put it in the comment section below when this live ends. And that way people know. We like to advertise each other over here and support each other and whatnot. You cooking chicken, rice, and broccoli? I have no idea what I'm cooking today. Yesterday I did fajitas, so I don't know what the hell I'm doing today. I'll figure something out, I suppose. Obvious. I just have to see what's around or whatnot. But I want to say that I love you all very much. Thank you all for your time and being chill and being here today. Y'all know I'll see y'all possibly over the weekend occasionally when I'm around. But mostly I'll see you Monday morning. You might see me later this afternoon. Very Carey. I don't know if y'all know this now. Very Carey is a person that I very much care for. She's a sweetheart, if y'all didn't know. She is supposed to do tonight her karaoke. So I'm going to share Very Carey's channel. If you like to do karaoke and whatnot, you ain't got to be the best singer. None of that stuff. We like to do it for fun. We don't make fun of each other. We just sing and have fun and laugh and giggle and just have a good old time, So she's going to do that tonight. Very Carey is scheduled for 7:30 p.m. tonight. Because she knows that we love doing karaoke with Carey. And if y'all want to join, you may do so. I just put her link in the chat. I just want to give y'all all much love, much appreciation, and tell you how to have a good day, my angels. I'll see y'all later. All right? Bye. Huggies.
From the TUPELO, I'm breaking my hood, so love I'm gon' show. From the TUPELO, I'm breaking my hood to the day that I go. From the TUPELO, I'm breaking my hood, so love I'm gon' show. From the TUPELO. E-L-O. I'm ripping my hood to the day that I go.
I'm from the west side, we don't need no introduction, this was the best ride. We all big boy rolling and holding, come take a test drive. Hilldale, Evergreen, Glenkirk, Adder Street, bending every corner on the west, and that's where I'll be. Sunroof back, Captain C banging down 1800, chunking up the deuce to my post slanging down on 1800. Show no love to the ladies that's training round on 1800, making time stand still, crystalline swinging down on 1800. Watching out for them knuckleheads that be staying round on 1800. Big rims and low pros be blanging round on 1800. Better completely change the way you're thinking about around 1800. Really hate to see you boys get left slanking around 1800. Out of street got some history, just let Captain C lay it out. If I don't finish it all on this one, let the second verse break it out. Remember the blue one promising OG standing back there by 60 deep. Bull walking, saw blue a big Anthony Hughes and Pee
I'm
Wee.
from the T-U-B-E-L-O. I'm breaking my